Welcome back to TribPreps. I'm Eric Lee alongside Todd Sommerfeld, and we're here to break down Week 5 of high school football in Wisconsin and Week 3 in Minnesota. Just run down the list of the games real quick. We got Aquinas at West Salem, Onalaska at Adams Friendship, Toma at Prairie du Chien, Blair Taylor at CFC, Melrose Mindoro at Pepin Alma, Kettle Moraine Lutheran at Westby, Altoona at Viroqua, and on Saturday, Nova Iota at Caledonia. We will both be at Aquinas West Salem tomorrow night, which seems to be, at least to me, a really intriguing matchup. I know we talked about it a little bit even last Friday after when we got back and I had watched Aquinas, you had watched West Salem, and we almost kind of did a mini preview of that game last Friday. But I mean, what are you kind of looking for tomorrow night there?
I'm looking forward to the game. I talked to Coach Yane and Coach Lee about it, and they're both excited. They're both coming in on high notes. Obviously, West Salem puts the losing streak behind it.
Right.
But you know, the other thing West Salem has is it's been so good for so long. It's not big pride for getting that win.
Right.
They feel like they need to win football games there.
Right.
So they're excited to get it, of course, beating Toma last week.
But it's
more
definitely
about moving forward.
Right.
It's about, you know, they're not going to celebrate it insanely. They're going, you know, they're happy for a little while, and they were very excited about it after the game because it was a big step. But now is where they really have to take the steps. As Coach Yane said, you know, we've dug ourselves a hole. We have to get out of it. And they're just starting to try to get out of it right now. And they're running into a team that's played very well for 3 weeks.
Right.
Maybe not the best defensively, but they've racked up a lot of points with a lot of different people contributing. So I think it's going to be a challenge to the West Salem defense, which I think played very well against Toma last week. You know, didn't get run over by Onalaska. Gave up 15 points, right? I think when they played.
Yes.
So I think West Salem's defense is certainly up for the challenge of something like this. Aquinas is going in with missing a couple of linemen,
right,
which could be big. It doesn't sound like Will Cambio is going to play. Close to 400 rushing yards for him already.
Right.
I think Aquinas can absorb that a little bit. The line's going to be tough.
Right.
And West Salem, you know, likes to get after the quarterback. That's part of their defense. Haven't done it greatly in the last couple of years, especially last year, but you know, has the ability to do that. So if they can get the Flotmeyer and kind of change what he wants to do, they can really have an impact on this. I think West Salem's secondary is pretty good as well. Flotmeyer, a much different quarterback than Gerke from Toma.
Sure.
So again, challenge. But I think West Salem's defense is I was impressed with it last week anyway. Can they move the ball enough against Aquinas? And some teams have been able to do it, so maybe they can.
Right.
They also have some balance. Jack Haley had a great fourth quarter, really good on a drive last week, so that'll be a matchup issue for Aquinas for sure.
I definitely think you talk about West Salem's defense, Aquinas' offense. I think that's kind of those phases of the game that is really it's going to come down to, especially, you know, you're talking about missing pieces on the offensive line. It's been really key. I mean, if you can key in on the fact that Aquinas is going to throw the ball and you can key in on Flotmeyer and guys on the outside, then, I mean, it makes your life so much easier as a defense. And I was even impressed by them when I saw them play on Alaska. And I mean, I thought they did a pretty good job keeping Aiden Larson in check and keeping, you know, guys on the outside like Landon Peterson and Hudson Weber for on Alaska in check as well. So I think they faced pretty athletic, you know, weapons already this year that they're going to see maybe comparable, but obviously, you know, different in their own ways. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if then Aquinas can continue this offensive output like you're talking about, because that defense has, I mean, especially last week against Westby in the first half, Westby was able to pretty much run the ball wherever and whenever they wanted to, and hang with them in the first half. And the second half was just a completely different ball game.
And West Salem was able to run the ball last week against Toma. They had a couple of big runs early, and you know, kind of spread the ball around with a couple of different people. It just happened to be on the big drive of the game. They threw it, and they were converting third downs with Haley, which was you know, some really big plays to him. But West Salem, you know, showed they could run the ball against Toma. Toma's still a big physical team. It always is.
Yeah.
No matter what kind of team is on the field in terms of wins and losses, they're still a big physical team. That's just one thing that's always been there and been consistent about Toma football. So they were able to run it. They didn't run a ton, but they certainly ran it enough to get that passing game going. So if they can do that against Aquinas, I'm sure we're going to see them run the ball as much as they can.
Right.
Just to get McConkey maybe in a flow a little bit and see if something can open up for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that I expect, West Salem to score 35, 40 points in this game, but I don't expect that they'll have too much issue getting some points on the board. So then if you can score and then sit back on that defense, I think this will be a nice little barometer, for how these. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
It, like we said last week, it feels like this is a big game.
Right.
And coaches kind of laughed, especially Coach Ye just kind of laughed when I said that when I was talking to him, but it really does. Just with the way both played last week and what we've seen from Aquinas so far. I mean, we only have a certain number of teams playing anyways.
Yeah.
But this just seems like a one to be excited about for sure.
I think this will be an important week for Alaska as well, bouncing back after a tough loss. I mean, and it's never easy to go on the road. I mean, it's a little bit farther, but I mean, they've got a game, and I know that's something Yashinsky's just happy about. So I think I'll be looking to see, how they perform coming off of a late second loss.
They've kind of been up and down.
Right.
The consistency hasn't been there, and they've made bad plays at bad times too.
Right.
So, they would like to get back to where they were week one against Toma, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they've played well against a couple of really good programs that they don't typically play against. Didn't get the win in either case, but I don't think they're too concerned. But they need a good performance.
Yeah. Other notables: Blair Taylor looking to go 4-0.
Yeah.
This week.
Big ending to that game against Alma Pepin last week, scoring twice in the fourth quarter to win. So CFC is always a tough team for them to play, and Coach Naring said that going to CFC is hard. So we'll see how that one shakes out for them.
Caledonia also looking to extend that winning streak on Saturday, and I believe you'll be at that game.
Yes, that's the plan right now. is to go to that. We'll see what else stacks up around here, but that's the plan. You have to go see Caledonia when you have a chance. And that's an afternoon game.
Right.
So 1 o'clock game. So that helps us and gives people something to do during the day too. I know they always have, you can go sit and park your car there to watch that game and honk your horn when big things happen. So, another Caledonia game on the docket.
But I think that about wraps it up for us.
We'll be back Friday night though. After all these games that we just talked about here, talk obviously mostly about that Aquinas West Salem game, but we'll see what shakes out in some of the others.
Right.
That Toma Prairie du Chien game.
PDC's coming off of a pretty nice win last Saturday actually, so we didn't get to really talk about that last week, but
and it's again going to be a good gauge for Toma to see how they bounce back from the West Salem game, because they've showed they can bounce back the way they beat Reedsburg after losing on Alaska. So Toma has it in them. We'll see if that happens against Prairie du Chien.
Right. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow night.